Hey, today I'm going to show you how to file and update your MCS 150, which is the information report that you as a motor carrier have to file with Fmcsa every couple years. And before I show you how to do that, though, understand that that's one of the requirements that your company is going to be solicited for nonstop uh, through text messages, emails, phone calls, and even letters. And what they're trying to do, these third-party solicitors, is to get you to update this report with their system on their website so that they can charge you a fee for it, which is usually a couple $100. But I'm going to show you today how to do that for free on your own. And that way you can stay up to date and not have to spend useless money on these third party solicitors. Before I do that, though, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And in order to first understand everything about filing your MCS 150, let's take a look at where it says in regulation that you have to do this. You'll find that in 390.19 in paragraph B, where it says that I as a motor carrier have to file before I begin operation, which is essentially what you're doing when you file for a US DOT number. And then every 24 months, according to the following schedule. How you're going to do this, or when you're required to do this, is you'll take the last 2 digits of your US DOT number. The last number will tell you which month you have to file it in, as you see in the table. And then the number before it will tell you if it's an even number, you have to do it even number years and odd number years. Therefore, if my DOT number ended in, let's say, 4/6, 6 would be June. Therefore, I make sure I have to file by June 30th. And 4 being an even number year means I need to file by next June of 2026, June 30th of 2026. After that, I'm just required to do it again one more time before June 30th of 2028, 2030, 2032, and so on. So it's pretty simple. And you'll see in paragraph B3 where it tells you that about the odd or even number of years. Now, in order to file this, some of you might remember a couple years back that there was a different system called the Fmcsa Legacy Registration System. They did away with that, if I'm not mistaken, last year. But now, in order to do this online, you have to log in through your portal, just like almost everything else you do now. And once you're on your home page, you're going to go to registration. The second option right here is update MCS 150. And this is already going to populate all the info that you had the last time you filed. So if you're not making any substantial changes to your information, then it really should only take you a couple minutes and a couple of clicks in all reality. We're going to hit continue. And then here, the first thing we're going to look at is our company type. And this is where if you're in interstate or intrastate, you can change your classification. Or if you're going to start hauling hazmat, or if you're going to stop hauling hazmat, this is where you would select those options. If you are going to select hazmat, you also check one of these boxes if it's applicable. But if there's not any changes, you're just going to continue on with the rest of it. On the second page, this is where we can change our address, physical or mailing. You have to do this too if you ever change your phone number or an email or any of your info. This is where you also do the same. You're not actually doing a separate. It's not a separate task to update your address. This is just the form you're required to file, but you do have to file it again before that 2-year mark if you change your phone number, your email, or your address, because Fmcsa requires you to have the most up-to-date contact information on file with them. So if you do have any changes here, you can change your address, email, company officers. If not, then just hit continue. And then here on the last part is where we could change our classification if we're going to go from being an exempt for-hire carrier, authorized for hire, private property, if you're a private carrier. And then underneath that, you can select your commodities that you're going to haul. If you decide to start hauling something other than what you were already doing, then that's where you'd select them. And again, if you do hazmat stuff, you have to select the types, the hazard class and division types of what you're going to haul. And then on the bottom, this is where you're going to update the number of vehicles that you operate, whether it's straight trucks, tractors, your semi trailers, and tankers if you're a hazmat hauler. On this total non-CMVs, I got asked a few times about this during, for those of you that watch the how to fill out your or how to apply for a USDOT number video. The total non-CMVs is talking about all your non-regulated vehicles is what you'd put in there, and that number doesn't really matter because if you're going to get audited, the only thing that's going to be audited are your regulated vehicles. And then the last part is where you enter the number of drivers that you have that are subject to regulation. And this would be if they're interstate or intrastate. You just select the total number of drivers that fall within that. And then total CDL drivers would be the number of CDL drivers you have. And you might ask, why is those two different numbers? Is because not all your regulated drivers may have a CDL. And once you do that, you'll hit modify, and then it'll generate the report for you. And it'll tell you here that once you get to this confirmation screen, it's been done. Here you can hit go, and it'll download the PDF showing that you updated it. And it really is that simple. You saw it. It took us just a couple minutes when there was no substantial changes to the information report. But again, the main thing for me is that I want you guys to not pay these third-party solicitors money that you just saw. You can literally do on your own for free, and something that takes you a couple minutes. Some of these third-party solicitors I've also seen on their website that they'll solicit you to do this through their website, and they'll also tack on a fee to have it expedited when there's no way that you can pay for that. Also, how is a third-party solicitor going to tell the government to hurry up? What they're doing is they're just trying to get a little bit more money out of you for something that I just showed you and proved to you wasn't necessary for you to spend in the first place. They won't tell you that, but I will. Anyway, if you got anything out of this video, please share it also with anybody that you think it might help and that you also want to save money. And thanks for watching.